On today's episode of What's Going On with Shipping, USNS Comfort involved in a 19-person man overboard incident off Haiti. Hi, I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So, a very serious episode today involving an accident with the hospital ship Comfort off the coast of Haiti a few days ago. Now, this story hits me very, very strongly, I got to say, because I actually sailed on board hospital ship Comfort from August of 1990 to March of 1991 during the first Persian Gulf War. I actually met my wife of now 30 years on board that hospital ship, so I know that ship pretty well. So I can talk about this a lot, and we actually have video of the incident that took place that I'll show you, a little graphic, just warning right now about this. So let's go ahead and break this down. So first off, Hospital Ship Comfort, one of two hospital ships operated by the Navy's Military Sealift Command. These are civilian mariners, merchant mariners, who operate the vessel. They man the deck and engine side, while an embarked medical treatment facility with U.S. Navy and other personnel are on board. And this vessel was doing a operation called Provide Promise, where they go down the Caribbean and support local nations and provide medical assistance where they can. Now, the hospital ships themselves were built in the 70s, converted in the 80s. They're former super tankers, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So let's go ahead and take a look at this story by Mike Scholler first. So here's Mike's story from the other day, and he goes into details about it. There's not a lot on the official word. 19 people fell overboard during a transfer from a small boat to the Comfort. The incident took place on Monday, approximately 7:17 p.m. off Jeremy, Haiti. The personnel involved were returning the Comfort from wharf to Jeremy, where they were providing medical care during a continuing Promise 2022 mission stop. All personnel were safely recovered and returned to a Comfort with the assistance of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Harold Miller. The two injured sailors were treated aboard Comfort and are expected to make a full recovery. Comfort paused ship-to-shore operations in Haiti until a safe alternative for personnel transfer has been identified. This is USNS Comfort. I said before, she's a former supertanker. You can see that from her lines. Very long, 895 feet, 105 foot wide. You can see here, this is the stern of the vessel. This is the original after house. This is one of two furnaces. You can see them here for burning garbage, but more importantly, medical waste. The huge mid-body here is the hospital section that's on board. There's a big oxygen producing plant up here. Lifeboats along the lines here, and down here are all the hospital wards. The bridge is all the way forward, big flight deck amidships. This portable hangar right here is kind of a cloth, not cloth, but like a polyurethane hangar they use for hanging. There's a big, huge flight deck midships, one of the biggest flight decks in the military. Bridge all the way forward. And you'll notice up here, this is the side port. This is the starboard side port. This is where you would usually bring passengers coming ashore. They would come to this side port. You'd bring a boat alongside. Up here, you have two cranes mounted. They bring lower platform down. You have that platform alongside the vessel. You secure it alongside. You bring your boat alongside. People get onto the platform and then walk into the interior of the ship. Over here, you have the lifeboats, and I'm going to zoom in a bit here for you to show you some of this here in a little bit more detail. So here are the lifeboats. Now, you have a couple of lifeboats here. I'm going to show you. These are the normal lifeboats, and I'll mention something about lifeboats on board the hospital ships. In violation of U.S. Coast Guard law, these lifeboats are open lifeboats. They should be closed lifeboats. In other words, they shouldn't be open to the weather. They should be closed. But Comfort and Mercy still have open lifeboats. Sore point with me. They have this both forward on the port side and the starboard side. You're looking at the starboard side right here. They have this vessel right here. This is for passenger transfer. They have a vessel specifically designed for this, Band-Aid 1 and 2. They can basically move patients on board. They're designed, they have covers. You can move them very safely. Back aft here, you have a couple of rib boats that you can launch. You can see the orange rib boat right here. But on the very stern back here, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so you can see it in some detail here, because this is the boat in question. Right here is the utility boat. This is a utility boat. Here's the crane that's used to hoist the utility boat. This is the boat that's going to have the incident. You can see white, little red crosses on it. Big, huge, open kind of launch type vessel. This is the crane. Crane is probably about a 5-ton crane, maybe a 10-ton crane. But the issue here is not going to be the crane that fails. It's actually going to be one of the attachment points in the utility boat that will fail. Now, the question I'm going to have right now for you as we get to the video is why the 19 people were not taken off, brought on board the side port here, taken off, and then the boat hoisted with minimal crew, or actually no crew on board, probably would be the best, climb up via a ladder here, and hoist the boat with nobody on board. That's going to be a question that's going to be need to address. These videos come via an Instagram account. Disgruntled_docs has these 2 videos on here. I'll have them in the show notes so you can go over there and see them directly. All right, let's look at the 2 videos. All right, here is the first of the 2 videos. So you're looking aft on the starboard side of the vessel. So you're on the right side of the vessel. You're looking aft at this time. So here is that utility boat we were just talking about. Here's the crane extended out. Now this crane comes down to a basically center point, and then there are 4 lines that branch off from the center point that are attached to the deck of the utility boat. So there's 4 hard points there with shackles. You would attach them, and now you're hoisting it up. And as you can see here, the boat is loaded. 19 people. Understand, 19 people in a boat puts a load on the boat more than normal that you would have. I mean, that's at least an extra ton or so you're putting in the boat that you probably don't need. All right, I'm gonna let the video play. Again, a little bit disturbing because you're gonna see people fall out of this boat. The line you see coming off here, that is a tag line, so you can control the boat from swinging. You're going to need to turn the boat around. You can see they're starting to swing the boat around at this point. They want to get the bow facing forward, which is exactly what you're doing here. They're bringing this boat around. See a lot of the people here in the after part of the boat, on the kind of the port side of the boat, and they're hoisting in, and what you're going to see is a failure of one of the points, it looks like, and the boat's going to roll to the left, to the port side. The starboard side stays attached, and it looks like either it slips out of the cradle of some kind, or one of the 4 points goes. You can see it go right there. And that's them heading, unfortunately, into the water. You see at least 2 people fall out of the boat at that point into the water. Now, the good thing is, and I'm going to come back here for a second, is you can see this vessel off here. This may be the Coast Guard cutter that's going to get the 2 people out. The remaining of the people seem to be in the boat. Now, we don't know what happens after this video, whether they lower it back down to the water, which is what I assume they would do, is lower it back down to the water to get the people out. They wouldn't continue raising the boat in this, I would think. I don't know. I'm not sure what happens here. I'm just shocked, number one, let me be clear, that they're loading this boat with people on board. That is a big problem. You have to have a huge safety factor on all your equipment to load people on a piece of equipment. The safety factor has to be, at least in the civilian side, a factor of 6 of the weight involved. On the military side, I think it's 3. But again, you had a failure on the boat. I'm going to show you this other video. So this is the second video. There's a little salty language in here from some sailors for obvious reasons. This way you're looking forward, so you're getting the opposite end here. So now you're still on the starboard side of the vessel, on the fantail of the vessel, looking forward. See, it's moving a bit. That puts more strain on the couplings there and add that added weight on it. You're coming up. You're a good distance off the water here, let's be clear. Again, I know on the bridge deck you're about 80 feet above the water. You're probably about 40 feet here. And then you can see her roll.
Oh, shit!
And then 2 people out of the boat right there. And it looks like they start coming back down on the boat at that point. I'll come over here for a second. So it looks like they start coming down. So it looks like one of the fittings, one of the 4 fittings gave way. Not sure. She rolls to her or port side, and so hanging by the starboard side. It looks like the remaining people remained in the boat. So we don't see the boat free fall off at that point. These are the only 2 videos we actually have that are posted on this right now. But wanted to put this out here for you. Again, going to be a lot of questions on this. Why were those personnel not offloaded out of the boat through the side port into the vessel? Why would you take the risk of loading this before? Was this a common practice on board Comfort? I got to say, when I was on board, we did not have this utility boat. This was added after. We always took people through the side port. All we had was the rib boat on board, but the rib boat was only launched typically with nobody in it, a tagline on it. We would put it in the water, pull it up to the dock or to the side port, and put personnel in it. We would always have everybody in life jackets and secured on the boat. This is just a very dangerous operation. There's got to be a question here. Was the ship trying to get out fast? Was this the reason they were doing it? Were they running behind? I don't know. I don't know what the question is, but these are the questions that are going to be asked. All right. I know nobody likes this video. It's a terrible video. I don't like to show it. But I think it's important that we address these issues because this does happen. Accidents will happen. But this is an accident that could have been, in my opinion, avoided by not risking the people in the boat while you're lifting it, especially in a cradle or a system that's not rated for people. If you have comments, please leave them in the show notes below. Love to hear what you have to say about this. If you like the channel, subscribe and like, hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you can, support the page. You can hit that super thanks button below and give to the page, or head on over to Patreon and support the page. As we find out more, I will let you know. This is Sal signing off.